Early this morning, Best Buy seems to have pulled a Target. Today, Best Buy CEO Corie Barry announced that she is stepping aside slowly, and a longtime employee, Jason Bonfig, is going to transition into the CEO role later this year. It's a similar succession plan to Target's, and tonight Kent looked into what's driving this kind of corporate churn.
Wednesday's big change at Best Buy, which came with a roadmap for an in-house transition, certainly isn't new for Minnesota or Wall Street.
It is really the era of a CEO exodus. I think that we're seeing a lot of Fortune 500 companies have a major transition of senior leadership.
Erica Dean is a professor of management at the University of St. Thomas Opus College of Business. She says many companies seem to put off that transition after all the uncertainty following the COVID pandemic. But many, especially in retail, are now realizing they can't wait anymore.
The pace of change has been so accelerated. AI, of course, has magnified that times a million. Many leaders are in what we'd call a chaos fatigue, right? They're constantly adapting and there's something new around the corner and we have to be constantly learning. And so we're moving from that expert CEO to that agility of learning.
Everything seems to be fraught with challenge.
Brian Campbell is a leader at the Conference Board, a business-oriented think tank, which has tracked the rise in so-called CEO churn, but says companies like Target, Best Buy, and even Apple, which also just announced a CEO transition plan, are betting on a slow succession over a big splash in the stock market.
There is continuity, and I think boards are particularly focused on that.
Is part of that just the psychology of everything's chaos around, so keep things steady in-house?
Yeah, I think that is part of it. You have people coming into the role who've been decades at the companies. So this is not to signal that there's going to be radical change.
But at a time when Best Buy, like Target, is looking to fight stagnant sales, he says it's key that incoming CEO Jason Bonfig is currently the Chief Customer Product and Fulfillment Officer.
When your business is under pressure, particularly with the degree of uncertainty out there, having the customer first approach, taking on the CEO role, is a smooth transition.
But where they go after that transition is what will matter most to customers and employees.
They're continuing that stability, but that's not enough, right? They got to have the agility, the strategy, truly harnessing what's to come, and they need that authenticity.
The shares of Best Buy did fall today after the announcement, which is similar to what happened when Target announced its long-term transition plan last fall. But again, this is more about a smooth succession. And speaking of that, the plan is for Barry to step aside at the end of October, and she'll stick around as a strategic advisor for 6 months after that. Jana.
Yeah, we talk about chaos, and the experts did in your story. Best Buy, I know firsthand because I did some reporting on it. The tariff chaos over the last year really hit Best Buy hard, so I can see that chaos fatigue would be a factor. Any word on what this new CEO wants to focus on at Best Buy?
Well, it really is that customer-facing aspect, and reading into that, they said it's really thinking about how to harness AI and better respond to customers for all kinds of services and meeting people where they are.
All right. Thank you so much, Kent. Appreciate it. We'll be right back.